What's up guys, my name is Tom, welcome back to another video. Here back to my F2 career mode as Mahaveer Raghunathan, the penultimate episode of this career mode series, and today is time for the Russian Grand Prix. If you haven't watched the previous episode that was around Monza, I highly recommend to go check it out. But here we are at the Russian Grand Prix, which is a track that I absolutely hate it. I think no one likes SOCHI, to be honest. It's an awful track to drive any sort of car, and in these F2 cars, where you feel a lot of understeer, these long corners feel an eternity to do, and yeah, it's an absolute pain in the ass to drive around this track. So probably during this weekend we're not going to expect big things, because like I said, it's not all my best tracks. I put some work, I'm not gonna lie, I put some work around this track, but I think our pace is not going to be enough to get us pole position. But here we are on practice, just doing our things, getting a little warm up. So make sure to smash like, scratch, and do see plenty more Formula 1 and F2 content and F1 2020 career mode, where that is around the corner. And let's press on as we go onwards into qualifying session. We skip forward and we'll do our laps when we have like 10 minutes to go, because the track is more rubber in, and we just have just one set of super soft tires to use. But we'll see what we can do. I think we can get well inside in the top 10, but I think this qualifying session is going to be a real challenge, as we miss a little bit the apex through turn, I won't say that's turn 5, as we get a little bit to the corner in the later stages of our first lap, which is not been great. There's a lot of time on the table, and we cross the line at the moment is just enough to put us in P15, going purple on our second lap in the first sector, and going 9/10 up, so just to see how much time we are gaining, because the first lap is always very not I don't feel like scared, but I always like to take it easy to not crash the car, and we had some occasion where we crashed the car, but it was in the later stage of qualifying, and I want to secure at first a decent position and then push for a higher position. But here we go through the last corner, a much wider line, and we across the line, and it's just P11, so we improved then in the next lap 3/10 up, so gaining more time, learning more the track, and that put us in P6, and that's where we're going to finish in this qualifying session at SOCHI. And yeah, P6, I'm kind of happy, and I think it's the best that I could do. And yeah, we are way of the pole time of Nicholas Latifi, but we can be champions today, but we need to score some good amount of points against Delatras and the Free. So I think the championship is going to be secured at Abu Dhabi. It's going to be quite hard, but we have already one hand in the trophy, so we've been very consistent, and our rivals sometimes win races, but they are not that consistent. Sometimes they are out of points, but we'll see what we can do in this race. It's not P6, it's going to be P7, but we'll see what we can do, like I said. And let's go to the grid, the feature race, the Russian Grand Prix.
And here in Russia, today's race is about to start. We're at the SOCHI Autodrome, and the drivers on the grid are almost ready to begin. Join us as we enjoy today's Formula 2 event. The SOCHI Autodrome is a 3.6-mile circuit encompassing venues built for Russia's 2014 Olympics. Close barriers will make overtaking difficult in places, but much of the track can be taken flat out. The fans definitely won't be left wanting when it comes to the spectacle of sheer speed. Davide, is there anything we should be looking for in today's race? The teams are all very competitive at the moment, so are we about to witness a push from anyone in particular?
Hi Alex, the teams will have been studying everyone else out there very carefully, so I think we are in for a very interesting event today. I can't wait to see how this race unfolds.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's results with a look at the starting grid. Nicholas Latifi lines up on pole position, and P2 goes to Nick de Vries, a strong showing from the Dutch driver. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Joe King, Sergio Sette Camara, and Giotto Raghunathan, Hubert, Aitken, Nobuharu Matsushita, Delatras, Schumacher, Dorian Boccolacci, and Boschol, Galeo, Correa, Mazepin, and Callum Miles. Alesi and Tatiana Calderon completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
Thanks, Jeffrey, and welcome, guys, to the Russian Grand Prix, and starting in P7 after no K qualifying. Like I said, it was the best to do strategy-wise. We're going to have some heavy rain in the later stages of this feature race. We're going to start on the super softs, and we're going to dress a brand new set of mediums, but we're going to fit the wets for sure because we're going to have heavy rain. So it's going to be quite a challenge. We know that TI is pretty strong in this game when it comes to tricky conditions, and in the crossover point they are super strong. So this race promises to be a real challenge for me, but there is Louis Delatraz, our closest rival in the championships, starting behind us, so everything is set to win the championship. Maybe not here, but Abu Dhabi. We'll see what he can do in this feature race. 14 laps ahead of a 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. And it's been a pretty decent start against the Univirtuosi of Luca Kyoto, but then we bogged down a little bit in third gear as we try to pull around the outside, get alongside him. We're going with the mid-low downforce setup, so this is going to help us when it comes to the straight line speed, and we're gaining and gaining as we're going to turn 1, going around the outside, not just of the Univirtuosi, but of Sere Camera and the other Univirtuosi of Guan Yu Zhou. And at the moment we are in P4 with a decent start by making a triple overtake as we're going to turn 1, getting the slipstream so close to the gearbox of our teammate Jordan King. We're going to shoot on the inside into turn 4, I believe. Yes, it is turn 4, and that's us into P3. So we start in P7 and we are already in P3 in the podium position. So it's been an awesome start as Jordan King, as Jordan has tried to get a look, but not enough. He stick the nose, but it wasn't enough to get some traction. And this is some side-by-side action between Joe and Camera. I think Joe got a little bit compromised, his line compromised because of my move, and the Sere Camera tried something, and now Joe trying something on Jordan, try to go around the outside and mounting a little bit to curve. Is very tricky that corner when it comes to traction, as they're going still side by side through the long left-hander. Is a little bit tricky in these F2 cars because you can't go really flat out. I think it's possible to go on qualifying, but in the race definitely you can't because the car is heavy in these early stages, but in qualifying it is possible. Going purple on the first sector, so pace has been pretty decent in these early stages. We have to bear in mind with the tire wear, it's not very high around here, but we have to nurse the tires because I have to turn very violently the wheel because of the understeer in these cars, but in these cars. But we're doing what we can at the moment. We are gaining on Latifi, and we set the fastest lap with a 1:14.9. It's not just on Latifi that we're gaining on the freeze as the DRS gets enabled in the beginning of lap 3. So things are looking good for us. We skipped for a little bit onto lap 5, and I decided to pit for the brand new set of medium tires because I wasn't gaining that much to Latifi, and I was starting to feel the tire wear. So I think this is the best thing that we can do. We're going to get stuck, not get stuck behind traffic. We're going to be in clear air, and hopefully we can get the undercut on these guys. So I think we are in a decent position, and we were pulling away of Joe and Jordan. So if the undercut doesn't work, I think we're going to be ahead of those guys. So we don't have nothing to lose. Dressing a brand new set of medium tires. We're not going to see the end of Grand Prix on this set. Maybe I should start in the mediums because I could just make a one-stop going to the mediums to the wets, but I think that would be really risky because the performance difference between the super softs and the mediums are like 2 seconds, and that's not strategy is a risky strategy to take. It didn't quite work in the last episode at Monza, so I think this is the best way to go, and we're going to stick in the 2-stop, but in the later stage we're going to fit the wets because we're going to have some light rain, but then in the last few laps we're going to have some heavy rain. There's no intermediate tires in these F2 cars, bear in mind, so when you fit the wets and the track is quite damp, things can get really tricky. So it's a very weird situation when it comes to Formula 2 racing. But here we are, skipping forward a little bit on lap 7, 2 laps in these yellow striped tires, and the freeze is going to pit as well for Latifi, and we'll see if we can get the undercut on these guys as Latifi is ready, and the freeze gets held up by Latifi. At that moment Latifi is in the lead of the Grand Prix because there was some problems for the freeze in the stopping phase because he was stuck in his pit box for quite a while, and he loses second place. So we'll see what we can do as we're starting for lap 8 through the start finish straight, and yeah, we are very close to the freeze, not that much for to Latifi, but maybe we can get a move on the freeze, and this is going to be really close. We're gaining and gaining slipstream. It has cold tires at the moment, so the traction is going to be so good for us as we are in this, right up in this gearbox, gaining some slipstream. But it's so hard to stick it with a car around in this long left hand because of the dirty air that is a bit powerful in these F2 cars. But we're going to shoot on the inside, and that is a nice move on the Dutch in our compatriot, but yeah, we're racing with the Dutch flag, but that's the situation of the racing license, and we are starting to gain on Latifi, so maybe we can win this race. And this is a situation like I'm not a qualifying specialist, but in the race space sometimes we manage to pull something through as Latifi locks up, so he's feeling the pressure. I'm starting to gain on him, he knows that I'm faster, and we'll see what we can do as we're starting. Look how fast we are, look how confident we are in the brakes and in the corner speed, and we are so close, so we are getting closer and closer to the DRS zone. And look at the traction that we have, and this can be an outside move, but Latifi gets good on the brakes, and we leave the fight for another day. But remember, we're going to have DRS, and this is going to get really close, but I think we have a chance to win this race. But remember that in the crossover point it's going to be really tricky, and the AI is OP in this game, in the wet conditions as well, so the race is definitely not in the back. Maybe if it was in dry conditions for the whole race it would be, but there we go, slipstream. We're going to pull around the outside, we're going to have the inside line as we brake, and Latifi gets good on the brakes, so he's pretty good in the braking zones. But then in the corner speed we managed to get our elbows out, and then we try to hold around the inside. We're going to make the switchback of dreams, and we're going to pull on the inside now, and we're going to make sure that we give it a little bit of squeeze. And I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to rain, so this is a stage that is going to get stronger and stronger as the freeze try to pull around the outside of Latifi, because his line got compromised because we squeeze him so much. But Latifi managed to hold the position, and that's into the lead of the feature race at the Russian Grand Prix. Keep going into the lap 10, and look how much I'm struggling. It's too wet for these you know, and these dry tires, but the DRS hasn't been disabled as we have a massive tank slapper, as you can see, losing the back end like crazy. And Latifi at the moment gets the lead of the Grand Prix, but somehow we have the DRS, and we're going to retake the lead probably, but we have to be really careful because the grip is not the best, and it's so easy to lock up, and the AI is so good in these tricky conditions that this is where we lose. But we gain the position once again thanks to the help of the DRS. But look how uncomfortable I am in the brakes, and Latifi is so close to me, so yeah, not the best conditions at the moment, but I have to do everything in my power to hold Latifi. And look at the train that we are forming at the moment, so just to see, I think I'm the slowest guy at the moment in these conditions, and I go wide. I'm missing apex after apex, and I was really suffering at this stage as I'm really going, so it's too wet for these intermediate tires, and I took the decision that I'm going to pit this lap. I can't take it anymore, and I'm going to the wets, and hopefully the AI is going as well. And I think if they stick with with the dries, and I'm the only one with the wets, I think we can maybe not win the race, but maybe get a podium, because at the moment these conditions are not suitable to this set of tire. But there goes Latifi, is going to take the position, and the DRS gets disabled. We're going to try to fight back, but we made contact. It's a mid-spin, and we've been hit by someone. I believe it is the freeze, and we spin around, and we are round, and we are down into P10 of this feature race, and this is the absolutely worst scenario. And yeah, that was a bit stupid for me, because I tried to defend the position, and I was really struggling. I locked up, and there was nothing that I could do, and the contact was inevitable. But I have to lift my hand, and that was absolutely my fault. And at the moment we are just scoring a single point on this race, and we're going to pit, and unfortunately we're going to suffer a massive double stack, because Jordan, there he is, teammate in the pits, and this is going to be an absolute disaster. Probably we're going to finish outside the point in this race. So everything went well to absolutely the worst nightmare that you can have, because we were leading the race, and now probably we're going to be outside of the points as everyone is dressing the white tires, because it's too wet for these medium tires. And despite having just 2 laps to go, this is the best option, that the best alternative that we have. We can't stick in these dry tires. And look at this, how much we're getting held up in the pits. Come on guys, hurry up, I'm here, I have a race, come on guys. Look at this, they are still, they are preparing the front wing as well. First, replace the front wing and then change the tires, because we have less mechanics in F2 racing, and it's taking an eternity. And we're going to get out of the pits, and it's going to be an 18-second pit stop, I believe. And at the moment we find ourselves in last place of this Grand Prix. Oh man, I can't believe that this is happening. Ilot is out of the race, as you can see. He's still on the tries, but I think he retired from the race, so we are the last of the remaining runners of this Grand Prix. But we're going to watch the replay of what happened. So I tried to fight back, and yeah, he closed the door, but that was 100% my stupidity. I tried to fight back Latifi, that was so much confident, and I locked up and there was nothing that I could do. The DRS was enabled in that stage, so I think that was a bit dangerous. I think it should be disabled in the previous lap, but yeah, then I spin around. That actually I recovered quite well that, so I deserve some credit. So we're going to watch Latifi's POV and let's see if he felt something. Yeah, just a little push on to the outside side of the track, but that was pretty much it. And here we are on lap 13, and we're chasing down Calderon that pitted, you know, a lap later, and she's still ahead of us. So just to see how long was the pit stop. Then we have a 3-second time penalty, and yeah, we're going to retire from this Grand Prix with just 1 lap to go. And there you go, an absolute nightmare of the race. They're not going to be champions, but oh man.
So as they climb out of the car, the ART team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Their biggest advantage was how well they seemed to manage their tire temp. There wasn't a lot of weight out there anyway, but it was even worse for the drivers if they couldn't keep the tires in the proper operating unit. Keeping the tires warm was what gave them the advantage today, and ultimately was a big factor.
An amazing race today, and a very well-deserved one too. The team worked very hard to get exactly the right setup out of the F2 car. It works for them, and the results speak for themselves. ARTGP winners today.
This is officially the worst race of this series. My worst F2 race. Oh man, I still can't believe, but yeah, it happens. It was my fault, and yeah, these were the consequences. Our teammate Jordan got to the podium, at least that, and Hubert on the podium. So these guys could pull something through, and Nick de Vries wins the race, and he's going to get closer to the championship standings. But now here comes the part, the sprint race, where we're going to start in penultimate place, just ahead of Callum Ilott in the Sauber, and there is the championship standings, 42 points ahead of the Vries. Everything is set for the championship, but I think we could be champions in this feature race if it wasn't this. But you know, this happens in the constructors, in the team standing, I should say. Things are still a bit uncomfortable for MP Motorsport. Dams is starting to get closer and closer because they got more points during the feature race because of me, because you know, I started last place. But we have some work to do in these sprint race, no stops. So it's going to be quite a challenge, but we'll see what we can do. I think we can have a good race. We have a good pace against these guys outside the top 10. 5 red lights, and away we go. And it was a good start against Tatiana Calderon, and we are already in P18. She's still alongside, but now we're going to try to get some slipstream of Juan Manuel Correa, and this can get us pull alongside of the Sauber. Look at the slipstream that we're gaining, and I decided to pull, try to pull something on the inside, squeezing so much Calderon, and we're going to shoot on the inside. What a massive dive bomb! And at the moment we are in P12, P13, as Mazepin gets a decent traction, but we gain 7 positions in one corner. So that was a nice start at the moment as we try to pull a run attack with a long left-hander. Look at how much understeer I'm having, and we have to be really careful because of the tire temperatures, and we get up into P12. So in the space of 1 sector we gain 8 positions. It's been a good start. It's been a good start. The difficulty is the same, but look how confident we are. I felt more confident in the mediums than on the super softs, which is weird. I always feel comfortable in the softest comparative tire. But here we go, run out of Matsushita as easy as you like, and I'll take every single day of the week, and that's us into P11. Remember that the points, the top 8 just score points. The rules are different for these, you know, and these sprint races, and we're going to press on in this sprint race with 11 laps, and we're trying to gaining on Nicholas Latifi, but I think he seems to be too far, and we pulled away a little bit of Matsushita. So just see how strong we are in these early stages of the race. But we're going to make a massive dive bomb on Nicholas Latifi. This can end badly. I don't learn my lessons, but oh man, what was that? Some minutes ago I made contact with him and I was spun round and I finished outside the points. And now here I am making massive dive bombs, but yeah, that couldn't end badly. But yeah, you know, I decided to YOLO it and go for it, as now we're going around the outside of Mick Schumacher through the first proper corner. We locked up a little bit, a bit of track extending, but we're going to press onwards, and that's us into P9. So it's been a wild start, one of my best starts in my F1 career, not gonna lie. It's been a wild start, going bubble on the first sector, as we now chasing the freeze, and look how much we already pulled away of Schumacher and Latifi. Latifi seems to have some problems, but I don't think that is front wing damage, because there was absolutely any sort of contact in that spectacular overtake. As we shoot on the freeze, he locks up a little bit, so it makes things easy for us. I was a little bit tempting on the brakes, but we managed to pull something through, and we are in the points in this feature race, so everything is going so well for us. And we're going to try to get more positions, because I think we have the pace. We had the pace in the race, but I had to ruin everything. We have some side-by-side action ahead of us, and King with a privileged view. It is between Antoine, Hubert and Aitken, as I locked up a little bit, and we received a warning for cutting the corner, so that's not ideal. So we have to be a little bit careful. It's very easy to cut corners. It's very tempting. You feel very tempted to get the corners around here, but we're going to pull around the outside, now take the inside line on our teammate. What a beautiful move. We're making some spectacular moves in this sprint race. I'm absolutely loving life at this moment. I was hating life in the feature race, but now this is the complete opposite, as we're getting some slipstream of Aitken. He has some because of Hubert, but we're going to pull around the outside. Don't go wide. Yes, we don't go wide. Yes, that is pretty much legal, and that's us into P6 after starting in P19, so things are really going well for us. I don't know what I have for breakfast before this sprint race. Nothing, because I recorded the episodes in one shot. I never had a break, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Either way, on the inside of Antoine Hubert, it gets really, I'm a little bit not that confident against the eye around here on the brakes, especially in that corner, because you have to steer and brake, and the risk of lockup is huge. I locked up a lot when I was practicing this track, and I think I didn't nail that corner. It's really hard to get good on the brakes, and yeah, you can clearly see that he's really good. But he sets a fast slap, but then Hubert responds with another one. I think he was slightly faster. He's in the DRS window, and Chef with their stretches. I don't know if you saw in the MFD, but yeah, the best stretches portrayed by Jeff. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing around. Jordan is out. Oh man, I don't know what is about Jordan and sprint races, but he always retires in the sprint races. Almost a lot of sprint races, Jordan always has engine failures, and that's really frustrating, because we're battling for the team standing against Dams. But we're going to press on, because P4 is on our side. Is Jack Aitken? No, Sean Galale. I don't know what I said. Why I said Jack Aitken. Here we go. Locked up. We missed the apex, and we run wide, and we leave the fight for another day. And we have to wait at the beginning of lap 9. But just a few corners later, we have the RS. We're gaining and gaining. I'm running with 4 wings, so that's going to help us definitely in the straight line speed. And here we go. He's going defensive, so we're going to try to pull around the outside of the Prema, leaving some room. He locks up a little bit, so I think I thought that it was going to go wide, but I managed to do the corner still pretty decently, as we're going side by side for the long left-hander. And who's going to come out on top is us, and that's us into P4. Not quite, because Galale is going to shoot on the inside and gets that back that position. So brilliant stuff by the Prema. He's holding that position really well, but I think we have the pace, and look how confident we are on the brakes. In this part of the track, we are pretty confident on brakes. You can clearly see against the eye. We gain a little bit in the braking zone. In the traction, we are good as well. As you go in defensive, I'm going to try to make a bit of a switch back, trying to get a good exit, but not enough, and we have to stick behind him. But we're getting closer to the next DRS zone, and we are really close. And maybe Hubert can join the party, because he's getting close and close as well. Because I'm getting stuck under the TI, which is a thing that I have to be careful because of the tire temperatures, and you can feel so much on the steer when you're stuck in the dirty, especially in these F2 cars. And here we go, DRS open, no rich mix. You can't play with fuel. It's just focus on driving. This is the beauty of F2 racing. But here we go, we're going to try pull around the outside this time. That's not locked up, and Galale gets the better braking. But here we go, try to go around the outside, and we made the move. Stick is still there, and we made a bit of contact as I locked up a little bit inside tire, as we're still side by side having a little bit of oversteer, as I'm trying to put the throttle as early as I can, leaving all the room in the road. But this is definitely great stuff between me and Galale. This is what F2 is all about, just barging and budging and going side by side through a whole lap. Maybe it wasn't a whole lap, but this is what F2 is all about, odd-headed battles between me and the AI in the real life as well. But we're going to the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix, so the opponents are running out, but we are so close this time to his gearbox. We're going to open the DRS, we're going to pull on the inside, and this should be pretty much it. Galale has absolutely nothing to do. He doesn't have DRS, and that's us, ladies and gentlemen, into P4. But now Hubert is going to try to go on the inside of Galale, so he's going to take the pieces of this battle between me and him. And there he goes. Now he's going to try to go around the outside for the long left arm. It's so hard to pull and move around the outside because of the the understeer, but the cars at this moment are lighter, but it's not enough to the Frenchman get the move on Galil, and he has to settle down for P5, but we skip forward onto the last lap, and that was pretty much it. It was a pretty good weekend, a bit of sweet taste weekend. This sprint race felt really good, the car felt really good to drive, and we made some crazy moves, and that Honda Latifi was really wild after making contact a few minutes ago. But yeah, I'm really happy in a nutshell with this sprint race, and we have to wait for the championship in the next round at Abu Dhabi, but really happy with this race.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So another fantastic victory for Dams today. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can. It's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
And I can see our drivers making their way out now. It's been a sublime team performance, and it's the culmination of a lot of hard work. Dams are your winners today.
Sedek Kamara wins the sprint race, which is not good when it comes to the team standings, but there is a double podium for Univirtuosity. They are in P3, but I think they are not going to have enough points to battle for the team standings. So it's going to be just between me and Zams in the last round of Abu Dhabi. There is confirmation results. We came out in P4 plus the fastest lap, so it's been a positive weekend, a bit of sweet taste weekend, I can say. But in the championship standings, 45 points. So at the moment, I think Sedek Kamara to be in the contention of the championship, he has to set pole position for the next round, which is going to be pretty hard. So the title is set for us basically, but we have some work to do when it comes to the team standings. But guys, that has been the episode, the F2 career mode, the penultimate episode as Mahaveer Raghunathan. Let's see if he can win the championship, I should say, as the GOAT, the man himself, Mahaveer Raghunathan. That's the reason that I chose him for this career mode. But yeah, so me and Jimmy G's of the sprint race finishing this episode. It was a pretty good race. I really enjoyed. But next round, Abu Dhabi, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time. But for now, it's goodbye. Now enjoy the last images of my battle between me and Galil. But for now, it's goodbye.